Everybody, welcome. What the hell just happened?
I was trying to steal your thunder.
What did you just think about doing? We don't never.
We don't
No,
All
ever.
right. Go ahead.
Go ahead now. You've already stepped on it.
Before I've ever been late to work.
It's okay. If you're going to cry, then go ahead. Welcome to GeekStorm, where Sean Hilton is about to cry and Mike Harrison was 23 minutes late.
Well, that's true.
Kokomo needs to know. I'm April Thatcher. Now, this cup was recently found in a ditch somewhere along US 31, where we believe that archaeological studies will show that the local native population worshipped it as the red god of cold beverage. Mike, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, but it's early, so.
Let's get right into it, folks. Some important, crazy things going on today. So, the most important thing going out there in the world of geekdom is Kanye Kardashian has called and said, Earth, he's going to let you finish, but he believes that Pluto has had the best year in planets this year.
No question. Big year for Pluto.
So Special K decided to open his mouth yet again.
I don't think Pluto's a planet.
I believe it is now a planet again.
Really?
It got promoted back.
I wish it would make up its mind.
No, he doesn't
Poor
get to
tiny
choose.
Pluto.
He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. He's the unpopular kid. So
and he's the dog that doesn't talk, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
He is the dog in the
He's the
visual
actual
world.
dog.
That's a dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Good job.
Well, Goofy's a dog.
No, Goofy is an anamorphic thing that looks like a dog that is a person. He's supposed to be represented.
Maybe he's just a really intelligent dog that walks on.
No, trust me, I've seen Pluto and Goofy. Pluto's the intelligent dog. He's definitely getting it better. But yeah, so we had the Grammys. A lot of people won some cool stuff, and some awards were won. And Kanye again has come out and went up, and everybody, because I didn't watch most of it. I watched up until I saw two performers I wanted to see, which was AC/DC. Opened the night, rocked the house, loved it.
What'd they play?
Well, they played the new one called like Ballpark or something like that. Let's play ball, and then they went right back to Highway to Hell. Sure. So both of them sounded really good.
That's not me this time.
And I thought they opened that place with a lot of energy and rocked the house for a 60-year-old, an actual rock and roll show, not this new pseudo rock. Then I waited for Annie Lennox to come out, who I think has got one of the most amazing voices ever. And then she just stole the entire Grammys as far as I'm concerned. There's a guy named Hosier who does the We're Gonna Go to Church thing.
We're gonna go to
so
church.
Here's how it works. This guy's the new hot stuff, and he's got one hot, kind of track going on. That's it. He's got one beat.
He's a one-hit wonder.
He really, I think.
Well, a lot of the other album is pretty good, actually. It's all that same kind of
It's this
music.
whole, take me to church and slow kind of rambling
worship
thing.
like a dog.
So, but here's the thing, Hosier, if you really want that to do really, really well, I understand it's your song. Shut up and let the woman sing it, because she makes it sound a hell of a lot better than you could ever hope to. So she was a big plus for them, and then she did a song off of her new album, which is all like American standards from the day she did a Spell on You. So yes, but during this, Kanye goes up during the album of the year, which was won by Beck, over his non-girlfriend, non-wife Beyonce. Not sure what that's all about. Kanye might want to,
He's got a crush.
He might want to just keep to himself, but he goes out and everybody laughs. Even my wife, I actually remember I was reading a book and they start to crack up because it was a joke.
Right.
And everybody thought it was great. And if he just kept his mouth shut, it would have been great. But then the very next day he comes out and goes, yes, I did it, but he goes, but I wasn't joking. He really should have just given that award to Beyonce because he didn't earn it.
Did he go up this time and take the mic and talk?
He went up, got close to the mic, and then kind of smiled and then walked away, which made everybody think he was, making fun of himself. Everybody thought it was funny.
If he'd have done that, he would have got
a lot of love. If he just kept his mouth shut the next day, he would have bought some love. Instead, he opened his mouth and says that Beck didn't deserve it, Beyonce deserved it, which is ridiculous. Even if I haven't even listened to that Beck song or Beck album, but I also haven't listened to that Beyonce album. So
I don't know much. All I know about it is what I read because I didn't see the show, but there are more people coming out against it this time than last time, celebrities and whatnot. Last time I think maybe the president called her knucklehead or something like that, and that was about it. But this time, a lot of his peers are jumping on the bandwagon, and some of them are like, yeah, Beck wrote, produced, and played in all these songs, and Beyonce paid somebody to do her album, to write and produce her album.
He played, according to the thing I read, now I didn't do the research to find out, just one of those memes, but he supposedly played 16 instruments on his own album. Wrote and arranged every single song, whereas she's a hit-making machine.
Sure.
To take nothing away from her, it's not like anything's going to be taken away from Beyonce and Jay-Z at this point.
She's doing okay.
If she didn't have a ring on it, she wouldn't be looking for it. Okay, she's doing all right. She can put all your crap in a box
pop culture.
to the right or whatever. So
and Kanye has quietly won like 14 Emmys. He's got commercials, Grammys. He's got commercial success.
He'll never win an Emmy.
It's not like he's trying to make himself relevant. He's in the news every day.
Well,
his wife.
Yeah, he performed twice at the Grammys. I saw one performance, and it was this auto-tuned train wreck of absolute crap. It was one of the worst things I've ever heard in a live performance, besides maybe Milli Vanilli skipping a record.
I like for the crowd to all have newspapers and.
Oh, it would have been great.
That'd be great.
It was. It was. So you got professional artists with however many he's got Grammys, and auto-tuned and auto-tuned badly. It just didn't sound good. So.
There are tons of things on Facebook totally making fun of Jay-Z and saying, let's see what kind of awards he tries to give away next year.
I don't get why Jay-Z's in trouble.
Or is it Jay-Z?
Kanye?
Kanye? Whatever.
No, Jay-Z just has enough money to go buy awards. He's building empires.
I'm on cold medicine.
So, all right. So yes, that went really, for a joke segment there, that went really long.
Well,
so,
you said it was the most important thing that happened
this week.
Yeah.
So also some other amazing things have happened.
Have they? What are
Yep. Well, you showed up 23 minutes late.
I said it was. Look, I'm sorry.
Somebody hit my fence last night at midnight.
I saw that on the Facebook. Somebody ran into your fence.
Somebody hates this show so much that they designed a way to ram a car into my chain link fence. So
wow.
Yeah.
Designed
That's
away.
actually scary. That means say if it's one person that hates us, 20% of our audience hates us. There really is. That really is.
Well, that's kind of
disheartening.
Well, a tear comes to my eye.
Disheartening.
Hey, what do you got today, April? You want to talk about Spider-Man?
No. What do you got?
Did you go see a movie last night?
Nope.
Did you watch 50 Shades of Grey?
I worked yesterday.
He watched the movie. He just doesn't
I
want to
worked
admit
yesterday.
I think you watched it.
I went to a movie last night,
Did
but I
you?
didn't see 50 Shades of Grey. I went and saw The Kingsman.
Oh,
The
how was
new
it?
Matthew Vaughn directed action piece starring Colin Firth and Samuel Jackson and Taron Egerton, or Egerton.
Is the girl with the bladey legs, is she the one from Glee? Because that's
No,
what she
she
looks
is
like
not
to me.
like, she's not, she's Sophia something or other. I looked her up real quick this morning, because only to see if she really had legs or not. But I'm like, man, they did that
She
so
did
well.
not.
Did they
Method
see-
acting. It's a method acting to just let you.
Well, I could have seen
She
them
is that
talking to
good.
somebody that's got,
Sure.
those appendages and then made like cool appendages and done that. But no, she actually.
How was the movie?
No, I'm going to continue for a second.
Oh.
She is an exotic beauty.
Is she?
Wow. She doesn't look that amazing, and the movie doesn't matter about what a woman looks like. I'm pointing out that after looking at her IMDb, I was actually like, wow, that is a beautiful woman. Like, holy cow.
After looking at what?
IMDb, where they show
That's the
other
Internet
pictures
Movie
from.
Database.
Thank you, Internet Movie Database. You should look it out once in a while.
I should.
So it told you a little bit, because I wanted to know a little bit more about her. And yeah, she's just a stunningly beautiful woman. And in this, they almost downplay that. She comes across as more of a Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino caricature of an action guy. The movie itself is okay. I enjoyed it, but I enjoy a dumb popcorn kind of movie. So I'm willing to. I'm kind of that weird
What's
critic
the movie
who's
called?
not a professional critic because we don't get paid for it. So I'm allowed. I think I just allow myself to enjoy a movie or look at it from different points of view and how I want to look at something. The problem is, man, we've got to start doing something about this. The entire movie is in that preview. I mean, even the beats on how, they didn't even like chop it up. Like the very end scene where you see somebody looking through a thing, if you save the day, I'll have sex with you or whatever.
Right.
That's like the end scene practically. And so we saw, not only did we see the movie, but we saw the movie in the order that it goes.
Right.
Colin Firth is good. He is the elderly agent that's bringing on the young, out of, kind of hard knock life Annie of the super spy agency. The rest of the agents being groomed for the program or all your silver spoon, upper echelon, high muckety mucks, and you got this kid who's single mom and all that kind of stuff. So you got a theme that we've already seen before. We've got this, almost Channing Tatum dance movie kind of character
You said his name
brought
2 weeks in a
into
row, and I'm
the
really proud of you. I want you to
thing.
know that.
So, but I mean, again, if you just want a fun movie to go to, check your brain at the door, and laugh while you're seeing some action, it's a great movie. If you want something with some depth, something like a James Bond movie where you're going to have to stop and think a little bit about, the motivations is Samuel Jackson is crazy and has a lisp. That was his amount of characterization.
What?
Instead of screaming about "get all of these snakes off my plane," it's him saying it with this lisp. One of the better jokes is at
Get
one
all of
point him making fun
snake
of the English cast, saying how hard they are to understand. So there's a couple of scenes he steals quite a bit that he's into. They give him lots of little quirks and stuff. The one reason I wanted to see this early on was it's a Mark Millar comic book called Secret Service, which has been turned into this movie called The Kingsman. I didn't read Secret Service as much as I would have liked to back in the day, but at the point it was called the Millar verse, and he was like putting out just tons of material, and it was kind of hard to follow, to be honest. But
I read the first issue and it was okay. It was basically in the comic anyway. The older agent is his dad, is the kid's dad, and comes back into his life and brings him into this. So
not in this case. They did change that up a little bit. In this one, the Colin Firth character, the kid's dad gets killed on a mission saving Colin Firth.
Are you
character.
ruining the movie for people?
No, if you've already seen the preview, you pretty much know what this movie's all about.
No secrets.
Yeah, there's not much. All right, so during the previews of this movie, we got to see the Ant-Man trailer where the crowd went a little Marvel nuts that they like to do. Then all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 trailers later, another Marvel movie thing came up. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, there's no way they released another Marvel movie trailer, me not know. And there were a crowd. And it actually took me a good 20 seconds into the commercial to realize it was the FF trailer on the big screen.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when everybody saw the Marvel thing,
They
when they saw the trailer, chirps. Just chirping. So that didn't look good. That didn't go over that incredibly well. Another thing was, and this may be my favorite part of the whole thing, there is a new movie coming out which is going to try and create, they're trying to say it's a new genre of horror movie, and the idea is that it is an online movie, like you were all around our monitors with the little face cam thing, and we're all typing at the same time.
That Facebook thing.
It's called Unfriended.
Yes.
And the idea is, at first I thought it was going to be, I Know What You Did Last Summer remake, because they've all taken videos and Snapchats or whatever, and they post them on video, and this woman ends up, or young girl, ends up dying. Teenager, and they're calling her a slut and all this stuff because she gets wasted and drunk, and they're showing videotapes of her.
That and what they do to her.
Yeah, I don't know
and it's her
they're
revenge.
unclear about if they did anything to her. Or if
but they videotaped it and posted it on
they did do that.
Social media.
So whatever she did.
Which is probably Bookface or something.
So, exactly. So they're going on around. The idea is that they're all having a shared internet session. Hey guys, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they start getting killed like one at a time with another anonymous person, like, what did you do? Who posted it? Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? And they're all getting killed one at a time, almost Scream style. But, so the idea, and you're seeing it all from almost that Blair Witch-O-Vision through that kind of a look. The only problem is that the target audience for that kind of a movie doesn't have the attention span to actually get through to the end of a 90-minute movie. So I think that the marketing might have made one little mistake. NASA didn't bother to change from, imperial metric to United States standard and then crash that movie right down on Mars. I'm like, you thought that the people that can't get through, a 45-second Facebook post are going to watch a 90-minute movie about this kind of crap? No, I don't think they are. So I got a feeling this one's going to go in the
Well, it seems way too creepy for me because it's like a little too real world possible, except for the chicken
I would
back.
never take videos of you doing horribly slutty things and put them on the internet.
Thank you.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of guy.
Thanks.
Nor do I believe that you would put yourself in that position.
Nice try.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show, April. So now, speaking of all the movies we talked about and a preview that I just tore apart because it really was just for that. look to my wife and I go, no, this target audience will never actually sit through this movie. They don't have it. So you're here to talk to us about the 50 Shades of Grey, because me and Mike didn't believe that we would be able to come from an impartial point of view to discuss this subject matter, having not read it, not watched it. All I know is that there's a guy named Grey, couldn't tell you his first name, who...
Christian.
See, you know more about it than I do.
I think he probably knows more about it
has
than
a
I do.
thing with a chick, and then they have lots of sex.
Well,
Now, when I watch those 30-minute videos on the internet, they don't make giant movies and a lot of money out of them. So how's this going to go over on the big screen for women? How do they make it more woman-friendly?
well, first of all, hi, my name is April Thatcher, and I'd like to introduce myself as probably the only woman on the face of the planet that has not read 50 Shades of Grey.
Why did we invite her to talk about 50 Shades of Grey?
It was you guys' idea. I don't know.
She's got ovaries. I assume she read it.
It's like required.
Well, I think it'll probably do well in theaters. It's coming out, for Valentine's Day weekend.
Do well in theaters? That's like I think Christmas people are going to spend money. What do you think? It's going to do well in theaters. Yes, it's going to do well in theaters.
But also, what guy wants to take their date out to see 50 Shades of Grey for Valentine's Day?
Let me tell you who wants to. Guys,
You?
Guys
Are you
who would-
taking a chick to see 50 Shades of
Guys
Grey?
who would enjoy spending quality time with their female friend or wife afterwards. We'll take their spouse or.
So what you're hoping for is that this is going to open up some ideas for the male part of the equation. Like, hey, look what they're doing. We could try that. We could stop by on the way home at the Harcillas, whatever it's called now.
Cyril's.
That's what we got in Kokomo. For those not in town, that's our sex shop, I believe. Classy sex shop, right?
I don't think I'm comfortable with this conversation.
Oh, reason you're here.
Oh.
Shades of Grey.
Walmart's
got
here's,
Shades of Grey.
Here's
I bet
the
they
weird.
have Walmart handcuffs that say
Oh,
Shades of Grey.
I saw a really awesome commercial for Kindle. That you can get 50 Shades of Grey on your Kindle, so that people don't see that you're reading it. But it was a hilarious commercial that I cannot talk about the subject matter.
They did a Lego version of the.
It was for Mother's Day
thing, so that was funny as well. They did a Lego version of the Shades of Grey trailer using all Lego pieces.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty funny.
But I thought the whole thing of the book was so that people could feel more comfortable and less prudish.
That's America. They'll never get over that.
Yeah.
They will sit in their homes watching all of the internet.
But they
porn
don't
that
have to turn
can,
the volume down
but-
on the book.
Oh, there you go.
See?
Yeah, I mean, there's just too
So
many-
now in the movie, they have to admit that they're watching this kind of thing.
There was plenty of people at this thing, I can tell you that. Because last night, while I was watching Kingsman, I came out, and what is a group of females called? It's not a gaggle, because that would be rude.
Oh, I was going to say a gaggle.
A clutch.
I think it's a
all right. A clutch of females came out, and
A
there was
litter?
like not a guy to
not a
be.
litter.
It was not a guy to be seen. What they should be doing is that AMC and every theater out there should be getting soft liquor permits for the weekend to sell wine, because it felt like it was girls' night out. They were all like in groups, and you could tell that if there had been red wine or whatever alcohol. What do you like to drink?
I don't drink.
You don't. All right. So the point being is that I didn't see a lot of guys even stepping up to. Now it was opening night. I'm sure guys are going to go see this.
Right.
But it's got a 51%
It was that way for Magic
market.
Mike. I remember going to the theater the day Magic Mike opened to see something else, and I can't remember what it was. And there were women lined. You remember in the old days where they would put ropes around the entrance to each individual theater, saying you can't go in until it was like that, and they were lined all the way out.
Wow.
What the heck? Why is it?
I didn't see that either.
It was Magic Mike. And that,
I'm not a very good female.
Maybe you just don't need this movie in your life.
Maybe I do or don't.
Maybe you don't.
Oh, probably. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't plan on seeing it. I'm sure it's going to make money. So this week, we've got The Kingsman coming out, and we've got Shades of Grey. And if there's anything else coming out, it doesn't matter because it's not going to make any money. I don't think there's any bet this week because I believe that we're I believe that we're all going to take Shades of Grey for the win here.
$1.
So it appears that when you take Jupiter Ascending and give me a double spread on that versus SpongeBob,
I want to explain myself.
you're going to just, I mean, it's a good thing it was only $1 because at this point, if this was just based on the amount of the win, be like $100 bill.
Way to be a
That's
gracious-
how much
way to
I
be a
care.
gracious-
So
gracious
basically,
women.
what this boils down to is that somebody doesn't understand
It's gonna be framed.
children and
I didn't know
their
that
awesome.
SpongeBob was still a thing.
You should autograph it.
It's a thing with adults too.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was.
See, that's why you
they
don't
were-
make
they
bets
were
when you're uninformed.
cashing in
Right.
on their. I thought it was done. I thought it was just a last, like they made like 4 Pokemon movies, right? Sure. And well after it was super popular. So apparently SpongeBob is still a thing. And I thought, even though Jupiter Ascending was getting poor ratings, I thought the stars and the genre would pull people into the theater, which is exactly what happened to me. And once I was there, it was.
You're wishing you were at SpongeBob.
Oh man, it was an awful movie. Awful movie.
I could have taken Jupiter Ascending, let you add the money from 7 Son, and then doubled it.
Right.
And SpongeBob domestically was going to whoop it. So that was crazy. But yeah, this week, Shades of Grey. Anybody want to go with Kingsman over Shades of Grey?
No, it's ridiculous.
All right, so no bet this week. Shades of Grey is going to take it. How much money do you think Shades of Grey is going to make?
80 million.
Oh, I was gonna say 27. Is that too unrealistic?
That is way too low.
Yeah, it might have made that.
72 million.
You'll make that today. 72
Really?
million, you got 80.
Sure.
I'll go with 81.
8101.
Let's up the price is right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The problem with it being is that, yes, it's going to make a ton of money, but as we just said, I think it's going to divide the demographic of man, women. It's going to be all women. I think very few guys are going to go to this. I could actually see Kingsman picking up a couple of million based on the fact that guys will take their
And
significant
go-
others to it and then go see
You
the
watch
Kingsman
this and I'll
instead.
go watch this, honey.
Yeah, because a woman might be willing to sit through the Kingsman for us.
Okay,
we're not
but
willing to sit through Shades of Grey for
Do you think
them.
that the outcome that somebody would desire after the movie is going to happen if they say, you sit here and watch this while I go see another movie?
It's Valentine's Day.
I think they're going to have to stay in the
if
movie.
sex is going to happen, it's going to happen long before I think this movie. This movie is just the primer.
I was talking about having chocolates afterwards.
Oh, you saw the wrong movie then. That was something with Johnny Depp a couple years ago. This is Shades of Grey. This is about sex. We're selling sex here. So, yeah, no. And then but it's also got the Huntsman from Once Upon a Time as the gray guy. So he's hunky. He's very attractive. The female lead, now maybe she's supposed to look frumpy and middle wifey or whatever at the beginning and then look sexy at the end.
She's every
I
girl.
think that
Is she? Yeah.
isn't the whole point of her character that one of the producers and I were discussing this before. This is why I know this, and I hope he's not wrong. But she kind of felt like she was kind of a homely, boring girl next door. And that's why this whole exciting thing is such a draw for her.
Warren plays the male lead, not the other guy.
Okay. Well, all they see is us going.
What's he
They
saying?
don't hear you. He mumbles.
Once Upon a Time. You ignorant producer.
Oh no.
I was thinking Snow White.
That is
Snow
Thor.
White.
How would
Snow
I possibly
White
mix Thor
and
up
Thor.
with Gray?
You lose your geek card. Okay,
I'm hurt.
not you.
Crushed.
Well, he was originally cast.
That guy back there.
Was he? All right.
Okay.
I thought Jax was
So-
originally cast.
He was.
Okay. All right, that's what I got for that. I don't know. I'm not going to see it. I don't think my wife actually wants to see that one. So, but maybe she's just saying that. I don't know. I don't
Will you
care.
take her to see it?
Chris's. I normally
Yeah.
will take Sean's wife to see movies. So absolutely, probably not this one though. Probably not gonna. I feel creepy.
Sorry.
I feel creepy.
I won't go see it.
Spider-Man. Go.
Here's something that somebody knows something about, maybe?
Somebody knows something.
Prepare to be riveted.
Go.
I was going to have a conversation with you. That Assassin 47 or whatever.
Hitman. The video game has been announced that they're going to make a new movie with a
Yes.
number in it. And it's
47.
going to not star Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. That's
How
what I
was
was doing
it?
over there.
Okay.
It looks pretty awesome, actually, if you like high action. But I feel like I probably watched the whole movie in the trailer. 47 is the number of the engineered assassin.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
hitman.
they've all got like barcodes
assassin,
on their necks or
hitman. Yeah.
something, and so he's number
That's
47.
what the one of the first scenes is like an interrogation room, and there's a guy at this end with like a Tommy gun or something, and then 47 at this end.
I would doubt it's a Tommy gun.
Well, I don't know. Some gun, and it was big.
Okay.
And so he goes something about you should be pretty nervous because we're the only two people in here and I've got the gun. And he said, number 47 said, actually, you should be nervous because you've just supplied me with my gun. And he like kicks up the table. The gun goes off. A bullet comes slow motion, shoots through his chain of his handcuffs.
Wow.
It's pretty cheesy.
You know, when I write
awesome.
my first action novel and I need a narrator for the audiobook, I'm calling April.
I do have a cold, and I'm awesome.
This is awesome.
That's why I'm on the show so often.
Big news this week was Spider-Man coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sony and Disney came to an agreement. We don't know the exact details of the agreement at this point. We just know that Spider-Man will be allowed to appear in the Marvel movies, and something about maybe the possibility of some Marvel characters showing up in some Spider-Man and some Sony movies. We don't really know how this affects any of the other Spider-Verse movies that Sony's talked about or planned, and we don't really know. They've said that Andrew Garfield is out, so hopefully we won't get another origin story. I don't want to see that again. Hopefully we get hit the ground running is what I hope.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The rumors going around is that Marvel is willing to inject money into the franchise for Sony. Sony will keep distribution rights, they get final say on Spidey, and the Marvel group will be allowed to have custody of the kids on the weekends and take Spidey out for ice cream and have to give him a lot of presents at Christmas.
Right.
So that's what it's looking like, is basically they're going to get the rights to have him cameo here and there in their movies and acknowledge the fact that Spider-Man exists in the Marvel Universe. Rumor has it that Andrew Garfield is being recast. I think that's probably true. I think that there was a chance he was going to be recast regardless in a third movie because the second movie did mediocre. I don't think it did mediocre, had anything to do with Andrew Garfield at all. I think he was a fine Spider-Man. I think he was better than Tobey Maguire. But Marvel, in their, here's what we would like to see in a version that we're going to borrow, wants a high school kid, which is what Peter Parker was for decades. And they're like, we need him to be de-aged a little bit, otherwise he's not going to work for what we want. Sony wants that recognition that Marvel can bring to their project, and they want an influx of a couple bucks in cash, and the ability to use other mainstream Marvel characters is only going to bolster other Spider-Man projects. So this is a big win for both of them.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's going to work out really, really well. We're going to get Spidey. And the only thing I see negative about it, it's not even that big a deal, is that Marvel had come out with that big launch that we talked about where they'd posted like the next 4 years practically of movies and where they were going to go. And because of this project, it takes all those movies and slides them back one. So, if Cap was coming out in the spring, now he's basically coming out in the fall, and every single movie, does a slide to the right.
Where it started is they didn't want the next Thor movie to come out the same and be right against the next Spider-Man movie.
Now
they got a stake.
They got money in it,
So they don't want to do that, and that makes sense. The tragedy, not tragedy, but what will be interesting to see here is what happens with Civil War. In the comics, the Civil War is about Cap versus Iron Man and the two sides of the moral issue, whether or not they should have to register themselves as powered beings or not. Cap's all freedom. No, you're not. You don't need to know my secret identity.
You got to rip your mask off to the government.
Iron Man is on the other side of it. In the comic, anyway, he was like the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., I believe, and wanted full disclosure from everybody. And the seminal moment in that entire 6 or 7 issue series was when Spider-Man decided he was going to reveal his identity to the world in a press conference. Took it off, said, "I'm Peter Parker." That was a big statement because he was Spider-Man. Okay, they had tapped before this Spider-Man thing became official. They had tapped Boseman, who was going to be the new Black Panther, to be that guy. He's going to be the king of Wakanda, and he's going to come out and say who he is. Well, that doesn't really have the impact, obviously, that Spider-Man does. So, unfortunately for that actor, who was set to become jet-setted and fast-tracked into being a major player in the Marvel Universe, he still gets his movie. He's probably still in the Civil War movie, but if they stick Spider-Man in that role instead, it'll have more impact with everybody.
Problem I see with that is to do it correctly, we now have to build up a new Spider-Man and get it to the point in this movie where we have Spidey in it enough that people are like, oh, that's a shock moment. And if he's just going to do a cameo and whip it off, I don't think there's enough. If I own the character Black Panther, then I can start the movie with him. I can have a scene with him, leading up to the moral quandary of will I do it, won't I do it? Now it depends on how much of this Spidey gets to be in. To really pull that scene off and do it right, it can't just be based on the fact that we all love Spidey. You have to build up emotion and story based on why it's such a big deal. We have to explain why it's important that he reveal secret, protecting his loved ones and whatnot, and why it's worth giving that up. And I don't think you can do that in just like a 5-minute scene.
You're talking about two different things, and I'm agreeing with you, but you're talking about two different things. You're talking about what the characters in the movie's reaction would be to whoever pulls their mask off because of what they know about their character, and then on the outside of what we as viewers feel and know about Spider-Man. We're going to get that reaction even if he has a very small part in the movie. But I don't think Marvel would want or even sign off on something where it's going to be just a couple of cameos. I bet when we see Spider-Man in a movie, it's going to be in the same amount of screen time as, say, Black Widow in the Cap.
Okay.
I bet they're going to use him.
Because they've already pulled his mask off in the second movie, I want to say, on the subway.
Yeah.
Like a ton of people saw him.
Too many people know. And just let me segue real quick into The Flash. The Flash on TV, he takes off in civilian clothes way too much, okay? I get it, he's fast, but if that guy right there took off right now, and all of a sudden I looked and he wasn't there, and I saw the whoosh and the red, I think, hey, it's probably him, Way too much he does.
Did you make that leap?
Yeah. Way too much in civilian clothes, which I don't see you as a Flash, by the way. I think he's a bad guy. But
what's this one?
But anyways,
is it just the hair? Or lack of shiny? All those bald guys aren't evil geniuses.
Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy in the Shazam world? The Savannah?
Yeah, Dr.
That's what I see. I see a Dr. Savannah.
Okay.
That's what I see.
It's better than the worm. So.
But anyway, back to the so
he could be Aquaman.
They're able to hopefully don't ever interrupt me again. Hopefully they're able to use Spider-Man enough to what
his ringtone
to
when he calls me the Aquaman theme song.
Aquaman's tough.
It's not what he used to say, by the way.
I know.
No, I'm not.
I know that's why I said that.
I made my Spider-Man point. Hopefully they use them enough to make it believable that the audience.
It's super exciting for fans,
yeah,
and people like me. We can't wait. It's going to be really cool.
It's one of those things that's a no-brainer
awesome.
that corporations are getting in the middle of.
Yeah. Producers, what we got on time? Because that feels like it's about right.
Yeah.
They're checking to. Oh,
okay.
Well, all right. That's why I thought it was just about right.
Awesome.
April, thank you so much for rejoining us and giving us
thank you so much.
the female look at shades of gray. We appreciate it.
So much insight.
Oh my.
Mike, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to come
apologize
and
to
do
everybody in
the
this
show.
room for being late again for the fourth week in a row. And it's not that I don't care.
We feel like you don't love us
I
anymore.
love this show. I really do. And it's not like I'm sleeping.
Third Wednesday of March, you're going to see us back here at Pepper Whistle for game night. So bring the family out. It's family game night. It's board games. It's free to play the games. If you want something to drink or eat, bring a couple of bucks. Check us out. Most of us will probably be here playing board games, teaching board games, and having fun in a family fun environment. That has nothing to do with the Shades of Grey board game. We won't be playing that.
A lot of the things
There's
we've
a
talked
board
about,
game?
A lot of the things we've talked
sure
about
there's
have
a board
been
game.
comic book related. Where can they get their comics here in
Thanks so much for asking. Well, you can come to, I think Kokomo's finest comic book store.
Did they get number one in the recent poll?
No, we didn't get number one.
You didn't get number one in a recent
No,
poll? But you're the only one.
Yeah.
It wasn't a category.
There's a situation there where it's payola.
Oh,
I don't like to
it's pay to play.
TV
I don't like to
shows
be
were
involved
not
in
on the
that.
I'm not
category
gonna say
either.
specifically, but I will because I don't care.
Oh.
That maybe those polls might be not as quite as legitimate as.
I'm under the impression that if you actually want the award after you win it, you have to pay for it.
Oh,
That's not an award.
that's
If
too
I gotta
bad.
pay for the award, you
We're
didn't
not
see
talking
the
about this.
award.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, that's too bad.
And the finest, right now in the street from Comics Cubed, is the finest toy store in all of the land
Oh,
at
boy.
Kokomo Toys.
It really is.
And then when you're done there, you go to Goblin Games.
I could say that.
you and Kokomo Toys, I believe, were on the list for best places to go on
the day for
Valentine's Day,
We were number one.
which is tomorrow.
Me and Kokomo Toys were number one on the
Wow.
places to go on a different date for
That's cool.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
so
good.
Bunch of
it's
cool
like
places.
a tribute to your childhood, and you and your loved one can go and reminisce about stuff. So yeah, thank you, Tribune, for giving us that, even if you know, we weren't the #1 comic store.
See, I was trying to end on a good note.
Good job. Check us out next week where we're going to talk about something regarding something and something.
I will be here on time, and I will be prepared to talk about
maybe
things.
video. No, it won't be a video game because the video game I want to talk about is coming out next week. So it's coming. It's here. I'm sure me and producer man will be playing it. Check us out. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sean. This is April. That's Mike and the producers, Mike Dukes and Matt something or other. Be groovy.